Well, it was a normal day. Me and my mom were sitting down on the couch, and I was playing with my little twin sisters and my little brother. And we were just talking, like saying jokes back to each other because my mom was a big joker. And all of a sudden, I hear the phone ringing. And I go to the phone, and it's my mom's sister saying that she really needed to talk to my mom. She lives all the way in Mexico, and she sounded very scared and nervous, and she didn't know what to do. So I gave the phone to my mom, and immediately I knew something went wrong over there in Mexico. It had to do with my grandma because she was really sick. And I took my little sisters out to the park so my mom could talk to my aunt alone so she can feel more comfortable in that way. As she was talking to my aunt, I felt scared and I knew something was wrong with my grandma. When I got home, I saw my mom packing all of her clothes into a luggage, and I asked her immediately what was wrong. She didn't want to tell me or my sisters, and I had a feeling that I had lost my grandma. She was everything to me. She was the second mother to me. I would always go up to her, ask her for advice, and she would always be there for me. And I didn't know what else to think. I thought she had passed away. When my mom told me to go take her so she can buy her tickets, she was dead silent in the car. I wouldn't tell her anything because I knew we were gonna start falling, and I didn't want to see my mom crying. So I took her. She got her ticket. When my dad got home from work, she asked where my mom was. She wasn't home, and I told him that she had gone to Mexico because something had happened with my grandma. I didn't know exactly what happened because she didn't want to tell me. When I was at home with my dad, I started crying. He's like, everything's going to be all right. Don't even worry about it. You know, your grandma's a very strong woman. She's gone through this many times, and I'm pretty sure she's going to go over it. So I was at home thinking that everything was fine. When I hear the phone ringing saying that my mom was already in Mexico, I was the first one to answer. And I told her if everything was okay. She started crying, and she said that it wasn't. They had to take my grandma to the hospital in an emergency, so they were in the hospital for 2 weeks. My grandma didn't want to be in the hospital, so she asked my mom to take her back home. Her only place she wanted to be was home with her children. My grandma's last hope was that she had all of her children with her, which was impossible because mostly all of them are here and they don't have papers, so they're undocumented. My mom and one of my uncles is the only ones that have papers, so they're the only ones that went. When she was in Mexico, we would talk on the phone every day. I would talk to my grandma. Obviously, I would hold everything I had inside of me. I wouldn't cry because I wanted her to know that we were there for her. When my grandma started crying and she told me that she knew she was going to pass away, that's when I let everything out. My mom was in Mexico, and one of my aunts went over to the house. And she's all like, I hope everything goes well with your grandma. I was like, yeah, I know. Hopefully my mom is better, and so are all of my uncles. She's like, wait, you didn't find out? I was like, find out about what? Your grandma passed away this morning. I literally dropped myself to the floor and started crying. I didn't know what else to do. My little sisters were in bed. They woke up. I actually woke them up crying. And they were like, what's wrong, Judy? What's wrong? They're too small to know. So I was like, oh, my grandma left. We're not going to see her anymore. I didn't know what to tell them. When my dad got home, I didn't know what to tell him either. And my sister, when she got home from school, that was a different story. She's like not much of a sentimental person. She was like, you know, she's in a better place. She's going to look down after us. But I just couldn't understand the fact that my grandma had left us, knowing that she was always there for me. When my mom got home, it was 3 weeks after when my grandma had passed away. The only thing you see, her eyes red, swollen from all of that crying that she has been doing. And no matter how many times my mom cries, we know for a fact my grandma's not going to come back with us. But we know for a fact she's in a better place now, and that she will be looking down after us. And